Welcome back. Sales of Tesla vehicles in Europe plunging in July. The European Automobile Manufacturers Association saying the company's new car registrations totaled just 8,800 last month, down 40% year over year. It was Tesla's seventh consecutive month of European sales declines, even as the industry data showed overall sales of battery electric cars rose. China's BYD saw a 225% surge in new European registrations in the same time period. So BYD clearly picking up a lot of share and then some, it seems like, from Tesla. You're on the ground in the region, so you see these things firsthand. Yeah,
and you're really suddenly seeing more of them, particularly for like Ubers as well. I think you get much lower tax in London if you're an electric vehicle as well. So you're seeing a lot of increase in that sense.
And the price point for BYD relative to Tesla in Europe
is way lower.
Tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, Tesla's like comparable to, buying a top-end Mercedes or a top-end, other electric vehicle cars. So, yeah, the prices are wildly different. I actually think the EU has a higher tariff than the UK does on BYD cars, on Chinese automakers, but it's not as high as the US automakers is on those cars. And guys, I'll just bring it back.
Is your sense, though, that these vehicles are so good? I mean, the thing that everybody talks about in the US is that maybe our cars, even though we like to think we've got great cars, will never catch up or be as good as the vehicles coming out of China.
Definitely. I mean, look, I've never driven one, but I've sat in the back of them. And, in terms of a functional car, for the price, it's off the scale. And I think, that's the other point. We touched on this a little bit yesterday about does the policy of containment, whether it's on chips or autos, work? And we're in a crucial different position now when these European countries, UK or EU, are facing a combative US administration. Again, you can say this is right or wrong. They are more likely today, as much as the US is amping up its clashes with China, more likely to allow these Chinese-made products in because they're questioning whether they can rely on the US in that sense. And again, just the quality for the price is really quite impressive. The UK is in a slightly different position to the rest of the EU because, alas, our auto industry is much diminished from where it was decades ago, and it's much more focused on the very high end. So that's Jaguar Land Rover, it's Aston Martin. Even though Bentley and Rolls-Royce are now owned by German automakers, they're made in the UK. So letting in cheap foreign EVs isn't as much of a political threat as it is certainly in the US or in Europe, where you've got a lot more, Peugeot, Citroën, and all the German automakers.
Yeah, you're not taking an Aston Martin Uber.
Exactly.
In Europe.
Although I think they should introduce that. The 007 Uber.
Ooh.
Be quite nice.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5-star
What kind of premium would you pay for that?
I mean, if it's James Bond branded, you could have me pretty easily. 10x or 7x. How about that? There we go.